Get started because we're on a schedule. I'm going to cue you in as to what we're doing here. We have, as we should, exactly 40 minutes for Dunsin, a 30-minute presentation, 10 minutes for questions, and at 6, Solus is Skyping in, and perhaps we'll have a minute, maybe not, to get some coffee in between. I don't think so. So just keep that in mind. With that, we switch our attention to agricultural systems, and let me introduce Dunsin, and he has going to present the impact of agricultural production systems on the energy efficiency of agro-bioenergy systems. Dunsin, you got it?
Good afternoon. I'll be talking on the impact of agricultural production systems. I'll be talking on the impact of agricultural production systems on the energy efficiency of agro-bioenergy systems. Agro-bioenergy systems are biofuel production systems. And the energy efficiency.
Do we have the microphone? Do you have the microphone?
Sorry. Yes, we do.
This one works. Is there something like there? Oh, that? Oh, okay. Sorry.
This is mic right
That's
there. So agro-bioenergy systems are biofuel systems, and the metric for the energy efficiency is net energy gain and energy return on energy investment. Agricultural biomass became an important source of energy approximately within the last 20 years, and this is as a result of massive depletion of fossil fuel resources and the need for climate change adaptation. However, at some point, researchers realized that it's a bubble that might soon burst because of indirect energy from input production that is usually not factored into some of the research that actually say that it's a good thing to go into biofuels. And looking back, most of the previous sustainability assessments is either talking about which feedstocks are good, which technologies are the best, what's the profitability, what's their contribution to gross domestic product, or what are the effects of subsidizing biofuels against other energy sources in the energy industry, or it's the possibility of affecting food security, and also the displacement of land as a result of acquisition of land for large-scale production. Also, land cover change and biodiversity issues are also being discussed. And usually some of them also focus on how much of useful energy is being delivered to the society at the end of the day. But equally important that usually do not take the center stage is the impacts of agronomic factor options and agricultural production systems. So this study is basically focused on the effects of these agronomic factor options and agricultural production systems. And like I said previously, the metrics being used to measure that is the net energy gain and the energy return on energy invested. And the case study systems, biofuel systems we are looking at is maize, ethanol, and maize biogas production systems across generic global agroclimatic zone scales, which is tropics, subtropics, and temperate regions. Looking at farm power. The alternative farm powers considered under the studies include different implementations of tractors, use of different types of animal labor, human beings, for fertilizers, animal manure, and biogas digestate, for seed sowing options, GMO seeds and hybrid, and for tillage, both conventional, reduced, and no-tillage options, as well as the different kinds of irrigation options we can find. Agricultural production systems, basically the two that are usually mentioned is a industrialized type of agricultural production systems whose motive is usually maximization of profit, and the eco-agricultural systems, which still tries to factor in the maintenance of biodiversity and ecosystem services. The two types of systems have their different slants and emphasis, and the industrialized systems are more on the large scale, and the eco-agricultural systems, which are mostly still found in the developing countries, are usually on a fewer acreage. The method adopted for this study is the LCA substitution approach. With regards to the different agronomic factor options, we selected some of the factors as baseline and looked at the individual effects of the other factors within the different agronomic factor categories. For the agricultural production systems, building up to the final net energy and EROEI values, we summed up values for industrialized agriculture, for the higher HP tractor implementations, synthetic fertilizers, conventional tillage, and sprinkler and drip irrigation for the industrialized systems. And for the agroecological systems, we we considered human and animal labor, as well as smaller tractor implementations. Fertilizer options from waste sources like animal manure and biogas digesters, and reduced and no tillage, as well as rain-fed and surface irrigation. Some of the general assumptions we used a range of values of conversion factors from previous energy and EROEI studies for the production and use of fossil fuel fertilizers and pesticides, as well as for the different farm operations. We, however, excluded tractors, mounted implements, and irrigation platforms because we consider them not to be within other boundaries of LCE other than this. Well, we had problem with data, with detailed data, so we had to make assumptions with regards to the smaller implementations of tractors. We assumed that the energy for consumption for plowing for most of the other operations. And for animal and biogas digested, we assumed that the energy for fertilizer production is saved for animal manure, and energy for fertilizer and lime production is saved for biogas digested. Also for the GMOs, we also did not find data on the energy for production, so we assumed that such could be in between energy for production of hybrid and native seeds. For rain-fed irrigation, we assume no fossil energy consumption for irrigation, and we only consider the annual operation energy for all the artificial irrigation systems. Well, some of the yields, the maximum attainable yields data was also not very consistent, but we try to manage with what we have for the different agroclimatic zones. For the co-products, we assume that energy for some of the co-products are being returned to the field for other farm operations. Well, the result was we have quite a range for both the energy and EROEI, some from neutral to positive and negative, some from positive to negative. But the best performance for the farm power category was the 10 to HP single axle tractors, riding types, being most of which are being made in India and China, and also for horses and humans. for the seed sowing options, the native seeds were the better performance. For fertilizer, animal manure and biogas digestate, for tillage, conventional tillage without pesticide, and the reduced and low tillage. And for irrigation options, the rain-fed and the surface. Looking at how much within the different agronomic factor options added, changing fertilizer options seem to add the most to the energy efficiencies, followed by farm power, and then irrigation options. The values of energy we got for maize ethanol was adding up the different agronomic factors adopted within the different agricultural production systems, showed that we had as much as times 4 of the energies for ethanol production, and as much as times 2 for the biogas production systems. For the EROEI, we have as much as times 3, and for maize ethanol, and around times 2 for the maize biogas system. So adopting eco-agricultural systems may not provide the kind of profit, financial profit that investors look forward to, but it's still conservative enough to help maintain the biodiversity and ecosystem services we have, even though the yields might be lower. While this may not be attractive for developed economies, it's a good strategy that can contribute to the concept of food independence and energy sovereignty, or integrated rural development for developed countries. And it will also contribute to the realization of a circular economy, because co-product reuse might play an important role in the eco-agricultural production systems. The results were comparable to previous results on the EROEI of biofuels, even though better estimates can be obtained at local and regional levels. And then we still need better database to conduct a spatial temporal assessments of what is being found at the moment, but this we don't have at the moment because there are no continuous data. It may also be helpful in the long run to look at what other indicators of other sustainability indicators looks like, considering these economic factors and the different agricultural production systems. One important thing I forgot on the last slide was the fact that even though it's on a small scale, it's possible to achieve more under the eco-agricultural systems if farmers could constitute themselves in networks and cooperatives and work towards galvanizing such production of energy, which will enhance the agriculture at rural level, and also gives room for some medium to small scale production.
Okay.